Hello, this is Linda Binns, the Breakthrough Energy Expert, and I wanted to come to you today with a short video, the first in a series of videos, to really help you understand energy a little bit more. Because one of the things when I talk about energy, it's such an easy thing to dismiss because we don't see it. It's not something you can physically touch, and so what I know in my years of working with people and helping them is that there are things going on energetically for them that are affecting how they feel and what they do and how successful they are without them even being aware of it. So I want to do this series of short videos to explain some of that, to help you be a little more aware. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is, that feeling of, perhaps you're not feeling happy and you don't know why. You should be happy. You have a lot in your life to be happy about. This is a very common thing that I talk to people about. Life seems good. Perhaps you have a great relationship, you have a good career, perhaps financially you're doing well, perhaps you have a nice home, beautiful family, and yet there's something, and it may be that it's something that you feel on an ongoing basis, or it may be something that sort of comes and goes. So it can be really helpful to understand that. So if it's something that you're feeling most of the time, and then you feel guilty because, well, I have all these wonderful things going on in my life. Why am I unhappy? I should be happy. I'm grateful for everything. And yet it feels like there's something missing. It feels, I just feel unhappy. And there's a lot of guilt and shame associated with that as well, which adds to it, kind of compounds it. So what is the reason for that? Well, very often what you find is that you're giving up something in your life. You're not taking care of your needs. I'll share an example with you. I talked to a lady who's now a life coach, but the impetus for her becoming a life coach was what had happened to her was that she had a great career, and she gave up that career very happily and very willingly to get married, to have her family, and to devote herself to her family. That was her choice. That's exactly what she wanted to do. And yet over the years, she found herself becoming more unhappy and feeling guilty because she had everything she wanted, and so didn't understand why she was feeling unhappy. And so she tried to sort of push that to the side and just keep going, which is what we do, right? And she managed to do that for several years until she reached a breaking point where she just kind of fell apart for about a year. And then she realized after that year that in dedicating herself to her family and making those choices that she wanted to make, she had neglected herself in that. So she had given everything she had to that life, to her family, but she had completely ignored her own needs. And you can do that for a period of time, but you then reach a point where it seems like everything falls apart. You just can't do it anymore. So that's one thing to be aware of, and that's really if you're feeling unhappy on a very regular basis. Another reason you might have that experience of just feeling unhappy, or any other kind of emotion that really doesn't feel like you, or that you're not sure where this is coming from. It could be coming from the people around you. Very often, especially in families, if there's somebody who is perhaps negative or is struggling, or it just is experiencing something difficult in their lives, you might be the kind of person that easily takes that on, and may not be aware of it. And you might feel responsible for that person, or responsible for fixing whatever's going on for them, which you cannot do. And so that then becomes yours, that energy becomes yours, and it affects you, everything you think, everything you do, everything you feel on a daily basis. So it could be that. It could be that you're taking on the energy of people around you. It could be because whatever you're doing, your job, your career, or your business is not really fully in alignment with who you are and what you truly want to be doing. Maybe it's not fulfilling. And this can be difficult for so many people who are capable of so much and love to do a variety of things and have a lot of different interests. And this is true for me. You know, I can put my energy into things that seem exciting and relevant to me at the time, but then after a period of time, I realized that it's not a fit. And I have this mantra that I say to myself now. It's like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. So I'm very aware now of what I put my energy into, how I use my energy. So it could be that, just be aware of what you're putting your energy into, and is it really a fit for you? And maybe it was in the beginning, but is it still a fit for you now? Then it could be another common reason is other people projecting their energy, their pain, their emotion onto you. And if you're, you know, the more sensitive of a person that you are, the more easily you take that on. It then becomes something that feels like yours, and you try to deal with it, and you wonder why you can't change it or let it go. Well, the reason is because it's not yours in the first place, and you're trying to resolve something that has nothing actually to do with you, but you've just taken it on. I had a great example of this. I play tennis, and I had a really good example of this one time during the summer. I was playing with a team, and we were playing outside in a park, and it was beautiful. It was sunny evening, and it was just lovely. It's just what I love to do. But this person I was playing against I didn't know it at the time, but she had a lot of inner turmoil, inner pain, inner stuff going on. And she was projecting that onto me without my awareness. And so as the match went on, I was feeling worse and worse and worse. And then by the end of the match, I just wanted to get out of there, to go home. I just didn't feel very good at all. And I couldn't understand why until I suddenly realized what had happened. And this is a pattern that she does, you know, she feels so much inner turmoil and pain that the way she copes with it is to project it onto someone else. That someone else, i.e. me in that case, takes some of that on, which helps her temporarily feel a bit better. And me, of course, feel a lot worse. It doesn't last for her because it's an ongoing process. But once you recognize that can happen, or that has happened, then you can let it go. So if you find yourself in a situation where you feel quite good one minute, and then the next minute you don't feel good, it could be that you've had an interaction with somebody like that. And sometimes there are people in our lives that we know who are like that, you know, and these are the people you might tend to avoid or feel unhappy about an interaction with them, because you know you never feel good afterwards. But sometimes you might encounter somebody like I did, that you don't know that's who they are. And so the general term for those people is energy vampires, because they kind of suck the life out of you and then kind of project their stuff onto you. So it's not a fun thing at all. Let's see what else. Oh, the energy around you is another consideration. The energy of your environment. It's not something we typically think about, but it has a major impact on you. Your home is part of you. It's directly connected to you. Your workspace, the place where you work, again, the energy there has a major impact on you. And so it's important to be aware of that. So being aware of the energy of your environment, how that's impacting you, and maybe that's pulling you down, versus also the energy of the people around you, the people you're surrounding yourself with. So for example, you might have a job that you enjoy and you really love the work that you do, but perhaps there's a lot of negativity in the workspace, in the workplace, and that is affecting you. So that's another consideration. You see, one more thing to wrap up with is we all have kind of a limit. It's like a thermostat, if you think of it that way, like a set point. So you may have a set point depending on how you grew up, and the conditioning you had as you were growing up, and what you feel you deserve. You can have a set point that says, it's just like a thermostat. You know, when the room reaches a certain temperature, the heating or the air conditioning, whatever kicks in. This is like an inner set point that we have, that can say, all right, this is how happy you can be. This is how successful you're allowed to be. And when you bump up against that set point, so when you feel like things are going well, and then you reach that set point, things will happen in your life to pull you back. It's almost like that bungee cord, you know, pulling you back. Saying to you, wait a minute, things can't go this well. You can't be this happy, that you can't be this successful. Let's put you back where you belong. So, you know, that can be another reason. And that's, if you see an ongoing pattern like that, you know, every time things start to go well, or you start to feel like things are going well, then you get pulled back. Then there's the energy of that what you feel you deserve, the beliefs that you have, the energy of those beliefs, that can be what's going on for you. So those are just a few things that can impact you and affect how happy or unhappy you feel. So just something to think about, and perhaps think about how you feel in terms of energy and what's going on around you. And see if any of those apply to you. And if you would like to have a questionnaire, if you want to go through a little assessment with other things on that will show you what other things might be impacting you, I'm going to put the link in the comments, so you can take that assessment and see for yourself. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you again on next week on the next one. Bye.